Welcome back. You're watching Sports Federation TV. We've got Ronnie van der Hoff from tennis here to tell us about exciting up-and-coming international event. Welcome, Ronnie.
Nuka, thank you very much for inviting me to your show. Yes, we're very excited from Tennis South Africa's point of view because we've got the International World Young Seniors Championship coming up in Cape Town, and it starts on Sunday. The opening ceremony is at Calvin Grove on Saturday from 5 o'clock, and everybody's welcome to attend. Now,
Calvin Grove is in Claremont, am I correct?
Yes, that's right, just off Claremont Newlands, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Now, the Young Seniors Championship is run by the ITF, that's the International Tennis Federation. It's a world championship event, and seniors tennis has become so popular worldwide that the events have had to be broken up into various age groups. This one is the young seniors, and the young seniors are 35-year-olds up to 40-year-olds, up to 45-year-olds. So that's the three age groups, men and women.
So 30 to 35?
No, 35 to 39.
40, 35 to 39, and then
40
to
to
44.
44, and then 45 to 49. Yes.
So 3 divisions?
3 different divisions, yes. And men and women. The first week is the World Team Championships. So all the teams play against each other during the first week. The second week is the individual championship. Now for the first week we've got 25 countries represented and we've got 85 teams. That's a lot of people. That's just on 400 tennis players in the first week, and a lot of those stay over for the second week for the individual championships. That is the highest ranked championships on the ITF tennis calendar. And the reason why it was broken up is that the most popular age groups, interestingly enough, are the next age group, which is called the seniors. Those are the 50s, 55s, and 60s, and then the super seniors. Unfortunately, I've just got into the super seniors, so we're dealing with the puppy section in this in Cape Town this next week. But and then the 65 and above. And the interesting thing is that it's become so popular worldwide that the ITF has now put in an 85-plus age group together in as a separate age group, and that's going to be played in Florida towards the end of the year.
But getting the young seniors, a world championship in the young seniors, that's something in itself.
Yes, well, tennis has always been a big sport in South Africa, but we have been, I think, suffering a little bit of late in that we haven't had a lot of really top players. Kevin Anderson is our top player at the moment. He's been injured, so he hasn't had as good results as he had last year. And then our history in tennis is very strong, but our seniors tennis is quite strong. If you think that, you know, they say to us, how do the teams do in the championship events? And they're surprised when they say, well, don't you come in the first 2 or 3? Well, we've had 1 or 2 teams coming in the top 3 or 4, but that's irregular. We've had 1 or 2 world championships in the individual events, but our teams tend to come about halfway. So if we have in each age group about between 15 and 20 entries, we tend to come about halfway. But if one thinks that there's over 100 tennis playing countries belonging to the ITF, we're sitting high up there. So one of the objectives of tennis in South Africa is to be relevant internationally, and seniors tennis is most certainly relevant internationally. And I think I should probably share with all the listeners as well the objective of Tennis South Africa. The objective is we want to see someone playing tennis somewhere every day. That's our vision. And I think this certainly goes some way to exposing the game. The Young Seniors Championship, it was tough. Cape Town got the bid. And of course, what it also does, it doesn't only expose tennis, but it also exposes us to international refereeing standards. So we have to get officials locally. We have to train them up so that they can reach the international levels, because it's a world championship event. ITF comes with a number of officials. They make sure that the tournament is run according to the international standards, and it's quite strict. So, and this particular event, we don't have a tennis centre in South Africa. I think your previous interview was also mentioning the fact about showgrounds. I think tennis is in much the same place. We haven't really got a major tennis centre. So as a result, we've had to divide the tournament up in 6 venues. And the 6 venues we've got, we're playing our head office at the venue, which is Calvin Grove. We're then playing at Western Province Tennis Centre in Rondebosch. Most beautiful venue. We've got the other venue is Pinelands. We've then got the Glen, which is in Bantry Bay, little club, and that's the smallest event, which is the ladies 35s. And then we've got Greenpoint and Western Province Cricket Club. So at all six events.
So southern suburbs leading onto the Atlantic seaboard. That's
yes,
pretty beautiful.
It's very beautiful, and the interesting thing is that we wanted not only to have tennis exposed, but we wanted people that come to the country to have a real experience. So they're staying at the President Hotel, which is right on the Atlantic seaboard. That's the official hotel. So we think that overall the players should not only be able to have good tennis, but a lifetime experience, and hopefully many come back with their families and enjoy the country and see what we've got to offer.
I'd like to backtrack a bit. I loved your vision. You want to see people playing tennis every day somewhere.
We want to see someone playing tennis somewhere every day. That's the objective of the Tennis South Africa board, yes.
Is there facilities though available to the general public to access this amazing sport?
Well, you'll see a sad thing that's happened throughout the country, and that is that we've got a huge number of courts and many are in disrepair.
Non-maintained.
And they're not maintained. So, and I think especially in the rural areas where we found that I think there's an exodus of people from the rural areas. So we've been asked by SASCOC as well to expand the game into the rural areas. And one of the problems we have there is the expertise, but also the finance in order to be able to renovate the facilities countrywide. I
hope you achieve that goal. I mean, a sport as fantastic as this should be accessible for so many reasons.
Well, tennis is, I think many sports that I'm sure maybe viewers will phone in and say, look, I'm wrong, but I think it's the only sport that we can play from 8 to 80. In fact, it's now 8 to 85. Constantly, all the time.
I bet you'll get a lot of sports calling in about that.
There's a social dimension, there's a fitness dimension, and it's just the most wonderful sport, lifelong. Men and women, that's another one.
Historically, it's one of the most popular sports, probably dating back to 18th, 17th, 16th century maybe.
Well, Wimbledon has had its centenary over a couple of years ago, and I think, well, tennis is probably one of the original sports. It wasn't maybe quite the same as it is now, but it's one of the
outfits have certainly changed.
Well, the outfit, and I do have to say, when I see us seniors playing tennis and I see what they're playing at the Grand Slams, I'm not sure that they're both tennis. One of them is tennis and the other one has changed so much. Yes.
So, moving on to more positive things. How many countries will be participating in this international event happening in the southern suburbs soon?
Well, we've got 25 countries being represented, and we've got 85 teams. So some countries, because we've got 6 cups that are being participated for. So in the men's division, you've got the men's 35, the men's 40 and the men's 45, and you've got the ladies 35, ladies 40 and ladies 45. So that's the 6 team cups. And they've all got different names. From the men's 35 is the Italia Cup. Then we've got the Margaret Court Cup, we've got the Young Cup, 6 different cups being in, and each venue has got 1 cup for that particular week.
Mr. Van der Hoff, lastly, what does having an international tournament of this force mean for South Africa, for Tennis South Africa?
Well, I think it's very important from Tennis South Africa's point of view, because one of the objectives that we want is to remain, as I said, a tennis-relevant nation. And there's nothing more to make us relevant into exposing our country on the worldwide front. And there's no better place than Cape Town to, I think, show the world what we've got to offer. And what does it mean for us? Well, we've got a strong organising committee, but right now we're all pretty stressed out and working hard to make sure the tournament is a success. And we really do want all the participants to have the life experience in tennis that they could possibly have.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and sharing your sport with us. So there you have it, folks. Next week, some amazing international level tennis happening in the southern suburbs all the way down to the Atlantic seaboard. And after the break, we've got Southern Stings here with us. Sunal Bernard from Southern Stings will be telling us about netball South Africa. Don't go anywhere.